I would have liked to have seen the original doors on this, because you know there wasn't this.
Nope.
Shush. Oh, this is where they put the gun. Big gun. Right here.
What's this band?
Nah.
This was an abandoned one that seemed like we didn't need. That's why we have a toilet paper shortage.
It's full too. That's the best part.
Food. That's kind of cool.
Spam and rice for breakfast.
Oh, Last Resort. I love that show.
Oh my god, some of those so old Hawaii 5-bulb magnify eye. Fantasy Island is like a
What's upstairs?
Oh, but my feet are even smaller. I only have size like 6. Yours are what, 7.5?
Yeah.
You're fine. Yes, I'm making contact, but it's family vacation first. There's parts of the bones that.
One of the trucks killed in somebody when I got blown up for windhoppers.
That's kind of funny.
They had 2 things, and one survived, the next one.
I never watched Journey 2. But I watched this. So this is what the footprints used to look like.
Yeah, before what? Was it a hurricane?
No, cows were falling on them, so they had to fill them in.
Oh, okay.
Which I find really, really funny.
Makes sense though. They're just walking. I was like,
The sequel. Was it the sequel?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
Don't worry about being in the shot. You're fine. Most iconic background.
do is we're gonna actually do history and also some of the operations that we're doing here at Kualoa today. So we're gonna start back in the year 1850. 1850 was the year that a man named Dr. Garrett P. Judd purchased Kualoa Valley from King Kamehameha III. King Kamehameha was ruling over this part of the island at the time, and this was also like basically under his possession. And Dr. Judd had come here in the early to mid 1800s with his wife, and they settled here as missionaries. But he was a medical missionary because he was a doctor, so he came here to look after any of the other missionaries that were already here, and if they had any types of illnesses, he was here to treat them. So after he and his wife got here, they realized that the Hawaiian people were also greatly struggling with illnesses as well, and he and his wife wanted to help them. But there is obvious language barriers, so what they did is they immersed themselves into the culture. He learned how to read. They both actually learned how to read, write, and speak Hawaiian. Dr. Judd translated the very first medical book into Hawaiian, and he and his wife translated the Bible into Hawaiian. So because of all the work they put into helping the people here, the native people, he became a very close friend of King Kamehameha III, and he was also one of his trusted advisors. And I believe that Dr. Judd was a very well-intentioned man, because I'm sure he kind of saw how things were changing, how times were changing so rapidly here in the islands. During that time period, there was more missionaries settling here. There was also a lot more businessmen that were coming here and purchasing land or taking land and using it for their plantation. And Dr. Judd, being close friends of King Kamehameha, definitely would have known how special and how sacred this place was, and I'm sure he didn't want the land to fall into the wrong hands. So he offered to purchase it from the king, and the king accepted. And Dr. Judd even renounced or gave up his U.S. citizenship and became a citizen of the Kingdom of Hawaii at the time, so he could purchase and own land here. And so basically he was able to buy the land in 1850, and he used it mostly for farming for most of the years. His son did try to open up a sugar plantation here, but that wasn't very successful at all. So they got into cattle ranching in the 1870s, and then that's something that we're still doing even up until today. We do raise our cattle as beef cattle. We don't do any dairy here, but our cattle are all grass-fed, and we do a calf cattle operation. So we have mama cows that give birth to babies every year, and the babies will stay with them till they're probably at least a year old. They'll stay with their mamas and in the herd for a long time, and then after they're almost about a year old, babies, I would say 8 to 10 months, then we move them over, and then they create their own herd basically. But yeah, so we have cattle ranching that was started in the 1870s, and then as the years went on, Kualoa Valley and Hakiku'u Valley were purchased by Dr. Judd's son as well too, to expand the property. So altogether, it's about 4,000 acres, and it does include these beautiful mountains that we've been surrounded by as well. So it's pretty unbelievable to think that a family owns the mountains. The same family owns the ranch, in fact. After all these years, it was passed down throughout the generations. So today, the family name is Morgan, but the Morgans are 6th generation direct descendants of Dr. Judd and his family. So they kept it privately owned, so that's why we're a private nature reserve. And with that being said, we actually do put a lot of emphasis on our preservation efforts. There's a lot of native plants that are found here on the ranch property, and we do even have a lot of native birds that are thriving here in Kualoa. So we do what we can, especially when it comes to our farming and any kind of clearing out of the certain parts of the property. We always try to make sure that we do protect the birds, protect their nest as well, and we make sure we kind of work around them so that we give them an environment where they can thrive. And then we focus a lot on preserving our native plants as well. So we have a stewardship department, and those guys work very hard. Basically, they hike throughout all of the different parts of the property, and if they find any native plants, they try to either fence them off and section them off so that the wild pigs can't get to them, or they'll also try to see if there's parts of the plants that they can clip from and then repropagate. And not to mention, we also have our all of our farming and agriculture. So we have our own market between Thursdays through Sundays. So today's the first day. Today's the best day to go. Is Thursdays. So we have our own market where you guys can go ahead and check out all the different things that we grow or raise here, the products that come from them, and then even some local companies and farms feature their products in our market as well too. And it'll be at the ranch house. So I'll kind of point that out to you guys after. And then we have our education department that works with a lot of kids or are keiki in the community, not just here on the island, but the other islands around the country and sometimes even around the world, where they get to come out here and do farming experiences or culture experiences. So when you guys come out to Kualoa, you actually help to contribute to all of that. Everything kind of works like in a cycle. The movies come out and film here, and that creates more business with our guests. They want to come out and check out the film locations. And then when more guests come here, we are able to make funding or to get the proper funding to fund all of our preservation and farming efforts and education efforts. So they all work hand in hand. And so before we eventually part ways today, I just want to make a big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for coming out and spending time with us, because we really appreciate your support, and we're glad that you can come and have a fun activity, fun experiences, make some memories, and just enjoy your time with us. So mahalo to all of you guys for coming out today. Now we do have that one last site, so we're going to start our drive down to that last site, and it's going to be maybe I would say 5 to 10 minutes for us to get there. So for now, hang tight, enjoy the drive. I have the perfect music to go along with our drive. You won't really see very much scenery. There will be like one lookout we'll drive up to, and then not really very many movie sites out here. We're just heading straight to our Jurassic site. So hang tight, and I will see you all there. Alright guys, I just want to give you guys some time.
Problem is I don't know what is going to be filmed, like, you know. Side of it.
Yeah, I don't want to be on this side of the cage. So cute.
And then they've grown back the forest.
After a while, you know, like spending a certain amount of time with the group, like knows, okay, this is our. I'm excited. That sounds exciting.
I know, it looks like. Until you see you can look in styrofoam.
Yeah. The walls are styrofoam and then the wood underneath. This is the funny part because you can see where everybody was touching. Yeah. You know? And like that's where the main parts of the
Yeah. Oh, you can actually really tell if the observation tower is wood.
Yeah.
transport cages. Because yeah, these weren't in the location here.
No. But they used it in Fallen Kingdom.
Wood. Wood, not metal. So I think what I'm going to do is expand the books, but I'll print because they will run sales of the book on here of like unlimited extra pages or half off extra pages or whatever because they do it we add extra pages. This section's not good for
Maybe it's in the basement.
that's a picture of my dad. Maybe somewhere. How do you not pass it? I think there was a whole thing here, but I guess it was just the iPad.
No, there was that screen. Because these are where the TVs were.
No, I know. I was thinking their external fence.
Yes. We're about to get busy here.
Yeah. No, we didn't head down.
I'm pretty surprised we got to see one because he spotted us. For a while, the green blended in with the trees, huh? So that's the type of pigs that hang out in the mountains here. So we might spot some more. If we do, then I'll kind of go slow so you guys can take pictures. But other than that, I have one last song for you guys. This is my goodbye song to you all. So enjoy, and I'll see you.
Oh, where the coconut's gonna drop on you. Kills more people than you know.
I don't see any coconut.
Oh, probably not.
It's just a fern, sweet herb. That
Isn't
one.
it a herb?
Just a herb. And I was like, I'm gonna go bark at it.
You wanna go bark at the ocean?
Go bark at the ocean.
So people can complain on YouTube about you barking at the ocean? Not bitter at all.
Yeah.
But yours did go further than mine.
Yep. I don't think we're gonna get the car too. Alright, get closer.
Oh my. Nah.
Oh, but he was.